Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. If you haven't hit the join button already, smash that join button and become a paid member of BWTM Sports. We really appreciate the support. And if you haven't subscribed already, smash the subscription button and join us and get on board and be a part of all the fun. Right, so video is called Pacquiao ready for some Spence Jr. work. Why? Well, I'll take you all back to when Manny Pacquiao wanted to fight Keith Thurman. And we know Keith Thurman was on a long layoff. He was injured and he was coming straight back. And I had lots of Thurman fans come on the channel and tell me, Thurman's going to knock out Pacquiao. Pacquiao's an old man. I said, Thurman will get dropped by Pacquiao. He may even get stopped by Pacquiao. I said, because he's been off a long time. Boxing is about continuity and consistency. And when you're out injured for a while, lay off your match or your fight, you might be able to get fit, but that sharpness isn't the same. And Pacquiao took the Thurman fight knowing Thurman wouldn't be as sharp. Thurman, he's all right when he's on the front foot, but when you back Thurman up and put him against the ropes, he's not as effective, and he has zilch when it comes to defense. Pretty flat-footed Thurman for the most part. Now Errol Spence. You remember after Errol Spence had beaten who did he was it after after the Mikey Garcia fight? They came up and they asked Pacquiao whether he'd want to be a part of this fight, whether he wanted a part of Spence, and as you can see, Pacquiao, either the businessman, was like, nope, I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of that Spence work. Nope, not me. I do not want any part of that Spence work. Now Spence had the car crash, and I reported that he would not be back boxing in January. As you can see now, he's not boxing back in January, but he is back, according to Derek James. Well, we need to catch up with and have a word with. According to Derek James, Pacquiao is back. Not Pacquiao, Errol Spence is back in the ring training, and he's as good as ever. I don't buy it. I don't buy it for 1 second. The fact that Pacquiao has changed from being so hesitant to wanting to fight Errol Spence now rushing to fight Errol Spence tells me one thing. Spence, the word has got out to Pacquiao. They must know now. Pacquiao, they must know something about Errol Spence for them to want to take that fight now. Pacquiao's no fool. He knows how old he is now. Why is he going to go and fight one of the toughest welterweights in the world if he didn't fancy his chances? Pacquiao's no mug. He could easily fight a guy like Danny Garcia or somebody else in the welterweight division. Why does he want to go and fight Errol Spence? Was it something he saw in the Sean Porter fight? Was it something in the Mikey Garcia fight he saw? Or was it after the car crash that he's found out via the PBC grapevine that Errol Spence is vulnerable and this would be the best time to get him? I don't know. So he's been vocal ever since Spence had the accident. And that's the kind of person that Pacquiao is. Honestly. That's called management. It's got nothing about being he's a fighter. We all know Pacquiao fight the best in the world. Pacquiao's management is like, okay, you've got an injury there. Yeah, you've long lay off. You've got one eye missing. One of your legs are broken. You got one arm not working right. I'll fight you. So Manny Pacquiao, that's how Manny Pacquiao will plan. Manny even being in the ring probably shows that they were aiming for the fight prior crash. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Well, maybe, because remember what you're trying to do is build Errol Spence's resume. You're trying to build his awareness. People know more about him. So when you put Pacquiao and Errol Spence in the same room together, then you're building up. So who's the biggest star PBC have got? Legendary, Manny Pacquiao. So what do? You put your legend next to your up-and-coming star, Manny Pacquiao. So that generates interest. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to fight. It's just an interview that you can look at on YouTube and go, Who's Errol Spence? Who's Manny Pacquiao? Well, everyone knows who Manny Pacquiao is. Said he looked at Errol Spence. So it's kind of reverse psychology. This is reverse psychology promotion. What you do, you put the two guys in a room together and you start looking one another up. Like when you saw Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder. Again, putting them in the same room together, putting them in the same thing together, you've got to find out about two guys. Free promotion. When you had Errol Spence and Thurman in the room together, why did they do that? Because they wanted to hear Spence talk about Thurman and Thurman talk about Spence. So why don't they put Errol Spence and Crawford in the room together and do that? Because then it's a different situation altogether. So this is all in-house promotion. This is what they call in-house promotion. So as Danny Brown says, Manny was probably trying to cash out on Spence when he got bigger, but obviously now crash has happened. He's more keen. He's still beating Thurman now. He has the time for Spence to get bigger name. Maybe so, but the other guys, he could have fought Danny Garcia. Okay, he could go on and fight Crawford. Okay, but I know they never wanted the Crawford fight because they thought that Crawford would cause all sorts of problems. But I'd love to see Pacquiao versus Crawford. That left hand on Crawford's chin, I'd love to see how he'd respond to that. You know, I wouldn't want to see Pacquiao versus Porter. I don't like that fight for Pacquiao. Do not like that fight for Pacquiao. But I prefer the Spence fight. I tell you why Spence is. They say, oh, Spence will walk through Pacquiao. The thing with Spence is he's flat-footed. He's flat-footed. And Pacquiao likes guys who are flat-footed that come forward in straight lines. And that's the thing about Spence. He comes forward in straight lines. And recent fights I'm seeing he's taking more punches now. So, you know, if it's true what they say about Spence being on the drink and he's an alcoholic, if that's the case, what people are saying about Spence being alcoholic, and there are some issues there. There's some alcoholic abuse going on there. If you look at Spence's career, press conferences you've seen him turn up drunk, interviews he's drunk, you know, just sitting down in arenas he's drunk, or it's a concern, and boxing fans seem to ignore that until there's an issue. Spence should have a handler. There's no way Spence should be getting in the car and driving, knowing Spence's history with drink. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. If Spence was a Don King fighter, he would have been well managed. He would have been well protected. That's my point, Hamza. That's a very valid point. Pacquiao wasn't talking nothing about Spence. That's when once I see Pacquiao's name attached with Spence from after this here, you've seen this picture here and this video there, and now Pacquiao wants to talk about it, that tells me that something's not right with Spence. Something's not right with Spence. Oh yeah, it's the false teeth Spence got in his mouth now. I don't think it's that. Is Spence not living the life right? Spence not looking great in training. Spence will never be the same fighter again. What is it? What is it that Pac-Man knows that we don't? And how can you, from such a bad car crash, come back so quickly and box and want to fight the top fight in the world? That's some action man kind of shit going on right there. And I don't like it. Don't like it one bit. Yeah, maybe Spence does come back and he's a real bad man and he can come out of a car accident and go and take on a legend Pacquiao and beat up Pacquiao, but it doesn't quite work that way. It doesn't work that way, as Thurman found out. Pacquiao camp mentioning Spence is like Joshua's camp all over Wilder as soon as Wilder is signed to a bout. Yeah, that I get that. I hear that to a point. But the difference here is Wilder nor Joshua were in a car crash. Pacquiao, at this point in his career, is an opportunist. You saw that with a Thurman fight. You saw that with a Broner fight. And now he's trying to make it feel the spin with this guy here. Look, Pacquiao's always been an opportunist. He fought Cotto and weight drained Cotto. He fought Margarito. Again, opportunist. Pacquiao's always been... When he fought De La Hoya hadn't fought at welterweight for how many years? Or light welterweight? And Pacquiao had him drawing all that weight and losing weight to De La Hoya looking almost like a skeleton. Fighting at the weight against Pacquiao. So Pacquiao's always been an opportunist. Always been an opportunist. He's always been. Look for Pacquiao's career. He's always been. I'm not saying Pacquiao's not a great fighter, but he's always been an opportunist. When is I'm not, and that's great management. But Pacquiao's an opportunist, and he's a wily old fox, right? So if he's in line, and they're talking about him fighting Spence, one of two things are happening. Pacquiao is signing out of his career and saying that's it. I'll take a paycheck and I'll sail into the sunset and retire, passing the mantle on to Spence. Or this ain't the swan song quite yet. He's going to kick Spence's ass, or he believes he can kick Spence's ass. And Spence is not in the position to defend himself in a way that he probably would have done pre-car accident. It's one of the two. But my suspicion is Pacquiao, being the opportunity he has been in previous fights throughout his career, has seen an opportunity in Errol Spence. Which fighter has moved up so many weight classes while the powers count? It's Pacquiao or Armstrong. As a matter of fact, Henry Armstrong's grandson, I talk to nearly every day. I need to bring him back on the channel. That would be a great interview to talk about Henry Armstrong. It would be great for our channel, and to get a coup like that, talk about Henry Armstrong, one of my favourite fighters of all time. I think I might just do that for the channel, bring him on again. Right, so let me know what you think about this Pacquiao versus Spence thing. And while I'm at it, I'll just add this thing on about Joshua. Let me do a little thing on Joshua for you guys as well. That would be quite fun to do something on Joshua. So I heard a story. Let me. So, let me do this for you guys now. While we're at it, we'll talk about it. May as well talk about it while I'm here. Joshua Pulev. So, I want to talk to you about some BS in boxing. Some proper BS in boxing, yeah? Because this is what I call BS in boxing. Okay. Kubrat Pulev, Anthony Joshua. Yeah? Let's just talk about this for a second. While I'm in the room and you brought the name Joshua up. Okay? Let me make, yeah. So, Kubrat Pulev, Anthony Joshua. Let's get into it for a second. Right? The thing I can't stand about boxing, and it's happening again, the BS again, yeah? It's how they talk, oh, there's extension for this and extension for that, and this is... I think this fight's already signed. I think this fight's already signed and ready to go. Because I know 2 fights already that have not been announced to the public that are done deals. And the people are already trained for the fight already. Done deals. Right? The fighters are behind closed doors training as we speak. World champions. Training as we speak now. This minute in time training for their fights. To defend their titles and to unify. Right? Unification. Right? So, that's the case. And they're saying, oh, well, you know, Joshua might fight Usyk. No, he won't. Don't talk rubbish. How is he going to go and fight Usyk? When you damn well know already told us that Usyk's going to fight Chisora. Oh, well, Parker might get in the mix. No, he won't. It's going to be Usyk versus... Who wants to see Usyk versus Parker? People want to see Usyk versus Chisora. Because Usyk can't sell a ticket. Nobody wants to see Parker fight. So Chisora versus Usyk will go. That will work. Now this fight here between Joshua and Pulev, I understand that this fight's going to be in May 2020. That's what I'm hearing the rumours are. And the rumours are it's going to be in Istanbul. I don't know how true that is. But it might be the second Muslim country that Joshua will be fighting in. So obviously the first one we had Saudi Arabia. The second fight may be in Turkey. So it should be very interesting. But we all know then what's this? Pulev is a Mando, though he's better on paper than most other heavyweights. Really? Okay, so here we go. 38-year-old Kubrat Pulev is better than most mandatories. Really? So what do you base it off? Pulev, Brazil, Stavern. Well, Stavern was forced into that fight with Wilder. We won't go into that because Stavern was preparing to fight Brazil. Brazil, you're not Brazil, but at the time, everyone was raving for Brazil to fight Wilder because people thought Brazil would beat Wilder. You got a short memory. Brazil, from what I remember, after Joshua went 7-8 rounds with Brazil, because Joshua did knock Brazil out in the first round, and Joshua and Brazil had just come out and knocked over Izu, who everyone was rating as the next best thing in the heavyweight division. So I think your memory of Brazil is a bit clouded, mate, and a bit biased as per usual with you. But anyway, Pulev as a mandatory. So okay, who's Pulev actually beat for mandatory? Let's look at the Pulev record. So you say he's better than most mandatories. All right, let's take it to the record, shall we? Because he's better than most mandatories. No, he's not. How can a man that got knocked out by Vladimir Klitschko so many years ago be a great mandatory? I don't understand it. Right, let me just look at the Kubrat Pulev record. Okay. According to Danny Brown, Kubrat Pulev is 28 and 14 by 28 fights, 40 by KO, one knocked out once. Okay. Kubrat Pulev. Let's see his last 4 to 5 fights. Okay. Let's see who he's fought. So he fought Derek Chisora in 2016. He fought Samuel Pitt in 2016. Kevin Johnson in 2017. He then fought Hughie Fury in 2018. Bogdan Dinu in 2019. And Riddell Booker with a record of 26-2. Okay. So he went to unanimous decision with Riddell Booker. Okay. And who's Riddell Booker? Who's Booker's biggest win? Let's have a look and see. I don't know who I've got no idea who the hell Riddell Booker is. Okay, so Riddell Booker fought Jermaine Franklin, 17-0. He lost to him. He won the fight before that, TKO of a guy who had 9 fights and lost 9 fights. And then he won a unanimous decision over a guy called Dominic Jenkins, who had 15 wins and 11 losses. And then the fight before that, he fought a guy called Terrell Jamal Woods, who had a record of 16 fights and 39 losses. And then the guy before that was a guy who had 18 fights and 14 losses. And then before that, he fought the legendary James Toney in 2004. So Riddell Booker, Mr. Riddell Booker, boxed in 2014, 2004. He came back in 2018. He had 4 fights. Then in 2019, he had 3 fights. Right. So there's your Riddell Booker. That's who Kubrat Pulev is fighting. That's the caliber of opposition Riddell Booker is. That this number 1 contender that you rate so highly, Kubrat Pulev is fighting. So there we go. Pulev. He goes there. Hughie and Del Boy wins are better than anything Brazil won before title shot. Okay, let's have a look now. So Hughie, okay, this is what you're saying. Let's take that to the bank, because again, I think that's absolute garbage, but we'll take it to the bank. Let's work with the facts, shall we? Let's go to the facts. So this is what you're saying. Kubrat Pulev's wins have been better than anything that no, Hughie Fury's wins. Let's look at Hughie Fury's records. Let's not guess. Let's not be favoritism. Let's look at Hughie Fury's record. Okay. I'm not talking about fights Hughie Fury's lost. I'm talking about the fights Hughie Fury has won. Okay. I'm not talking about what he's lost. I'm talking about what he's won. By the way, Kubrat Pulev beat Hughie Fury and Derek Chisora. Just to mention that. But who was Hughie Fury fought and beat? Okay. So he lost to Povetkin. He beat Samuel Peter in 2019. By then, Samuel Peter had a record of 38-7. He fought Chris Norad. Beat Chris Norad. and Samuel Peter, lost to Kubrat Pulev, beat Sam Sexton, lost to Joseph Parker. So, all right. So, Chris Norad, he knocked him out. Okay. Anyone know who Chris Norad is? Because I still don't know who Chris Norad is. Chris Norad is 17-1. He's Canadian. Okay. And we'll look at Chris Norad's record. His debut was a guy who had a record of 7-5, 7 fights and 5 losses. And then he fought a guy called Andre Hamill, 3-0. Then he fought David Witten, who had 11 wins and 20 losses. Then he fought a guy called Sam Pembroke, was 3 with 8 losses. Then he fought Jesus Torres, who had 21 fights and 11 losses. Then he fought Hugo LeMay, who was 20 fights and 12 losses. Then he fought Abraham Pascal with 12 fights and 5 losses. Again, these are all Canadian fighters, just to let you know that. And then he fought Hughie Fury and got stopped in a couple of rounds. All right, so that's what you're talking about there. So you're talking absolute nonsense. Okay, Derek Chisora. Shall we look at Derek Chisora's record? Dare we look at Derek Chisora's record? Do you want to look at Derek Chisora's record? All right, let's go. Let's go to Derek Chisora's record, shall we? Just for the. Oh dear. Okay. Dear me. Mate, these are the facts. It's not what I think. Just waiting for Derek Shaw's record to load up. I was waiting for it to load up. It doesn't want to roll it for some reason. There you go, Derek Shaw's record. Got 32 fights, 23 KOs, 9 losses, and knocked out 3 times. Okay, so his record. Derek Chisora's record. David Price 25-6. Spilka 22-3. Senate Gash is 17-2. Then he lost to Dillian White 24-1. Takam 35-4. Azu 14-2. Ajit Kabayal lost to. Robert Flipovich 4 fights, 2 wins. Dillian White, he lost that fight as well. Then Dazan Janin, who lost to Kubrat Pulev. Then he fought guys like flipping him. Andras Kosmarov, 14-8-1. Gospic, 16, lost 13. Fought 16, lost 116, lost 13. Fought Peter Edro, 9 fights, 8 losses. Fought 9 wins, 8 losses. Nascimento, 17 fight wins, 10 losses. So, really, mate, really. Kubrat Pulev is a great mandatory. Really? Well, let's look at Dominic Brazil's record. All right, based on what you're talking about, and we look at Stavern. Stavern was former WBC heavyweight champion of the world. I didn't remember when Derek Chisora was WBC heavyweight champion of the world. I didn't know where Hughie Fury is WBC heavyweight champion of the world. I didn't know Povetkin was WBC heavyweight champion of the world. So you can forget the Stavern conversation. So let's go on and see what was the next guy you mentioned. But anyway, that squashes all that. To Carter's view, at Danny Brown, both fighters you mentioned are domestic level fighters. No one cares for Hughie and Chisora outside the UK. Delboy's got 9 losses. That's what it is. Got to respect Ingram's pragmatism in argument, not argument but debate. Well, it's not even a debate. It's nonsensical. It's just Danny Brown once again showing his biasness for Eastern European fighters or fighters that are of a European nature. You know what I mean? He sticks up for them when they're absolute garbage. And Pulev is garbage. Pulev is absolute garbage. Yeah, yeah, Stavern, bad example. My bad. Yeah, you should think before you type. But yeah, how can a man who's a world won the world championships by beating Hellenius and David Price and winning the WBC title over Ariola, who everyone said was going to be the next heavyweight champion of the world. I just have to remind you that. Oh, let's go to Dominic Brazil, who you casually said was not a very great contender. I just want to say about Dominic Brazil. I mean, I don't think Dominic Brazil's great, but I told you what was going to happen to Dominic Brazil before the fight. So he walked straight into Wilder's right hand. Dominic Trouble Brazil. Let's bring his record up. Okay, so he's got a record of 20 fights, 18 by KO, and he's only been stopped twice. Okay, on his record, right? Fred Cassie, Amir Mansour got stopped by Joshua. He beat Ugano. He beat Eric Molina. He beat Carlos Negron. Okay, Negron was 20-1. Molina was 26-4. Izu was 17-0. Joshua was 16-0. Amir Mansour was 21-1. Fred Cassie was 18-3. And the other guy, Yasame, was 17-0. And Victor Bisbal was 21-2. And Eugenio Mendoza was 40 fights, 19 wins. So, really and truly, you want to knock Dominic Brazil for just a second. I think Dominic Brazil's record, I have to say Dominic Brazil's record is pretty impressive. When you look at the amount of unbeaten fighters he fought, or guys who only lost one loss on their record. So those guys came to fight. Hughie Fury, all due respect, all Hughie Fury's record, Kubrat Pulev's record, and Chisora's record, a lot of those guys didn't come to fight. So I don't know where you're going with Kubrat Pulev's record. He's a mandatory for what? Based on what? You see how he got knocked up by Klitschko? He couldn't block a left hook. Is that what makes a guy mandatory? A guy who can't block a left hook? Come on, man. Let me break down Kubrat Pulev's skill set. What makes him best of the mandatories? He's not the best of the mandatories. Are you telling me Kubrat Pulev's better than Alexander Usyk? Are you telling me that Kubrat Pulev's better than Dillian White? Are you going to sit down and tell me Kubrat Pulev's better than Andy Ruiz Jr.? Is that what you're going to sit down and tell me now? Is that what you're going to sit down and convince me of? Really? Is that what you're going to convince me of? Come on, man. Come on, man. I will stick Daniel Dubois tomorrow in with Kubrat Pulev and not look back. Look back. I'd get a fit Dillian White in with Kubrat Pulev. He'll beat Dillian White would beat Kubrat Pulev as well. Come on, man. Don't talk nonsense, man. Don't chat that nonsense about Kubrat Pulev, man. Are you telling me that Kubrat Pulev is a better mandatory than Dillian White? Are you telling me that Kubrat Pulev is a better mandatory than Dillian White? Are you telling me that Kubrat Pulev has fought better opposition than Dillian White? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Is that what you're trying to tell us, Danny Brown? See, it don't make sense. Yeah, Ingram, that's why I didn't understand Danny's statement. Because Danny just likes to talk for Danny. He just likes to talk. He's not typical boxing, man. They talk and they don't think about what they say. And it sounds good to them until you actually put the evidence on the table to them. And again, as per usual, I did the box rep thing, so it doesn't. She's obviously not better than Usyk, of course. He's another Eastern European fighter, isn't it? It can't be better than one other Eastern European fighter. You see, you got to watch Danny Brown because he's on that Eastern European tip. That's what he's on. He's on that Eastern European tip. As long as they're Eastern European or they're not from UK and they're not American. As long as they're Eastern European, yeah, they're great fighters. Tell me, what's Kubrat Pulev's best win, please? Derek Chisora. What's Kubrat Pulev's best win? Can somebody tell me what Kubrat Pulev's best win is? What? What? Hughie Fury, is that his best win? Man, behave yourself, man. Kubrat Pulev should not be. Kubrat Pulev should have fought either Dillian White, Alexander Povetkin, um, Andy Ruiz, Joseph Parker, any of them four guys. Kubrat Pulev should have fought for his, to keep his mandatory position. That's what he should have done. That's the right and proper thing to do. But no. Kubrat Pulev's just hanging around there for his final payday. Because he damn well knows, and everyone else knows, Kubrat Pulev is garbage. Absolute garbage. So Danny Brown, come on, man, tell me. As a mandatory, I'm talking now. Come on, talk to me. Hamza, what do you think? Leif, what do you think? Have I been unfair to Kubrat Pulev? I mean, I was a huge Pulev supporter when he went to fight Klitschko, so I thought he could actually beat Klitschko tonight. But, you know, as I said before, that spongy ring made Kubrat Pulev's legs do some funny things in that ring that night. I'd like to know if Kubrat Pulev can still block a left hook or not. That's what I'd like to know. Because I'd just be telling Joshua when you got there, throw the left jab, left hook, left jab, left hook, left jab, left hook, left jab, left hook, right hand, left jab, left hook, right hand. Or left jab, right hand, left hook. Left jab, right hand, left hook. Because every time Klitschko threw the left hook, Pulev was getting hit by it. Go back and watch the fight. I don't want to see nothing of Kubrat. I don't want to see Kubrat Pulev, but that's the fight I think it's going to be. I was trying to say there's been worse mandatories and he's held it like 2 years. Okay. Again. So who were the worst mandatories? Are you going to say, oh, what's his name again? The guy in the WBA. What's his name? I know the guy you're talking about. Ah, the Cuban fighter. Can't remember his name again. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. I feel Pulev versus Klitschko was the explanation to us of Pulev's ability or lack thereof when much younger. Yeah, that's it. That is what has Pulev done since then? Oh, he's beat Chisora and he's beat Hughie Fury. Ooh. Well, Chisora's a killer now because he went and knocked out a guy, Arthur Spilker, that Wilder ruined. Come on, man. Spilker should not have been anywhere near the ring fighting Chisora. I mean, we saw that. Oh my gosh. All I'm asking the question is, who have they beaten for you to have this opinion? What have they done to earn a shot at the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the world? And if he's earned the right to Kubrat Pulev, then, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Danny Brown, you said Pulev, Stavern and Brazil, at least stick to your point. Yeah, his point got exposed. Then he realised, oh yeah, Stavern was WBC Heavyweight Champion of the world. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And he was in the top 3 heavyweights in the world when he was champion. Yeah, I forgot about that. And Brazil, oh yeah, Brazil's record. Look at Brazil's record and look who Brazil's fought. And who Brazil's got beat by. And then look at the guys he was fighting on his way up. The maximum these guys had was 2 losses on their record, if that. Look at Pulev's record. Look at the guys Pulev were fighting. 1, 2, 3, 9 losses. Look at the guys that Fury was fighting. Like 3, 4, 5, 8 losses. Look at the last guy that Pulev fought. He fought a guy that had, 24, 25 losses on his record. Come on, man. So wait, hold on. Let me get this straight. So, Kubrat Pulev Now, Brazil fought Carlos Negron to fight Wilder for the WBC mandatory position, and then he beat Amir Mansour in a shootout to fight Anthony Joshua. That's how he got his 2 title shots. All right. Let's see what Kubrat Pulev did, shall we? Just for a second. Who did Kubrat Pulev beat to get his 2 title shots? Or his 2nd title shot? I just want to see something here. Now remember, Kubrat Pulev beat Derek Chisora for the vacant European title in 2016. We are now 2020. Just a reminder. Who did Kubrat Pulev beat to be an IBF mandatory and to keep that mandatory? Okay. Let's look at the great Kubrat Pulev. 38 years old. Who did he fight to get his title shot? Let's see. When he got the WBA Intercontinental title belt. He won it off Samuel Peter in 2016. In 2017, he fought against Kevin Johnson. Then he fought Hughie Fury in 2018. Then he fought Bogdan Dinu in 2019. And then he fought Riddle Booker. Now, I didn't know any of those 2 guys were in the top 10 of the heavyweight division. Did you? It's Bogdan Dinu. Who the hell is Bogdan Dinu? Maybe he's a world beater I didn't know about. Maybe I'm being ignorant. Let's look and see who Bogdan Dinu is. Who did Bogdan Dinu beat? Let's have a look. Oh, he's been KO'd twice. He's Romanian, so they don't produce great heavyweights, do they? He's number 1 ranked heavyweight in Romania. Yeah, of course. Like Romania do produce great heavyweights. Yeah, and here we go. Yeah, it doesn't look good. First guy that Dinu fought was a guy who had 20 fights and 5 defeats in Montreal. The second fight he had was against Manuel Pucheta. 38 fights, 10 losses. Then he fought Marino Goals, 20 fights, 5 losses. Then he fought a guy called David Thing. He looked like he was making his pro debut. He's 0-1-0. Or 0-1-0. Then he fought Ikari, who had 5-1. Then he fought in 2017 he fought Nascimento, who had a record of 18 wins and 15 defeats. Then he fought Drew Miller and got systematically KO'd brutally by Drew Miller. Then he fought Kubrat Pulev, and he's come back with a win against Osborne Machimana with a record of 23 fights, 13 losses. (2016), brother. We're in 2020. What are you talking about? Oh my God. 2016. We're in 2020, my friend. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He beat Derek Chisora. Okay. Okay. Bro, your argument is these are the people that want to talk boxing with me. Bro, we are not on the same level. Listen, I'm going to teach you about boxing. You're going to learn from me. We're not on the same level to talk boxing, yeah? We're not on the same level, right? When you come and listen to boxing, chats with me, you come to learn. You not come to teach, you come to learn. 2016, you beat Derek Chisora. He's God. He's still a mandatory, though. LOL. We meant to forget. Oh God. Well, you're the only one in this room that actually thinks that. Listen, Kubrat Pulev's last 2 fights was Bogdan Dinu right? Bogdan Dinu and a guy called Riddell Booker. Okay, shall we see where Riddell Booker is actually ranked in the world? Oh Lord. In America, Riddell Booker is ranked 31 out of 326. In the world, of 100, I can't see his world rating here. It says 129 out of 1,310. Now, I don't know what that means, whether he's 129 out of 1,310 or it's the other way around. Whichever way it is, it ain't good. Yeah, Fraser Quenda, that's what I'm talking about. But Fraser Quenda had legal issues dealing with him. He said some legal issues and he was injured. And Fraser Quenda was meant to fight Shannon Briggs, if you remember. Don't bring Fraser Quenda into it, bro. Don't bring Fraser Quenda into it. This is for the IBF title. The same title that Tyson Fury got stripped of. So don't talk about Fraser Quenda, bro. Don't talk about Fraser Quenda. Don't talk about Fraser Quenda. IBF's got one rule for one person and another rule for somebody else. I remember the IBF because IBF went as soon as Sean Porter lost to Kell Brook, they ripped him out of the IBF rankings. Don't talk to me about the IBF. The IBF were the same IBF that ripped the title away from Tyson Fury because he was going to have a rematch against Klitschko. Remember that nonsense? But yet now Joshua is going to fight Pulev in a garbage fight, right? But they're not going to rip the IBF off of him, are they? No, he's going to get extension. I'm done. Everybody, thank you so much for a great night once again. Talking to you all. Danny Brown, come and learn a bit more about boxing. Everybody else, have a great night of boxing. Not great night anyway. And I'm going to go do some FIFA. Have a great night. Thank you all again. Take care.